we slide into this next couple operating rounds. The Archimede still running at 20. I've got almost enough money to buy that 10 train when it comes up. Obviously, the best case would be to have enough to buy 2 of them, which I might be able to arrange the way the prices are going and everything. If I get the timing right and sell shares at the right time and everything, yeah, who knows. But right now, just pumping out cash because nobody was in a position to buy up shares of it, in part because the value is high. We're able to just keep running and keep piling the money into the treasury, which is sweet. Aldi in a little bit more danger than I thought. So I forget that I go back, right? Now, luckily, the Lilly Bio is so low down that it's not going to catch up to me. They can't just lay this track. They've got to cut in, and that's an expensive cut too. So, and the way the mixed track pieces are, you don't get a nub from narrow gauge into normal gauge. So the only way that I can use both in the same track is if they're disparate, and there's also, for whatever it's worth, no wide cut here. So I'm cut from this. I can pay $160 to build that track again. Yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Lilly Bio got badly cut by Garibaldi placing here. Badly cut. Reason it was just stupidity. It's for kind of forgetting that somebody could pop up there. But yeah, I mean, it really was stupidity. There's no reason I couldn't do this track instead of this track, right? Oops. And I mean, it kind of looks like there was no danger because it's empty, you know, and why the hell would Palermo want to play there? You know, there's aspects you have to kind of assimilate. I've had a beer, so, you know, I'm a little mellower about everything now. The Akragas, they ran their couple of trains, paid out, and plenty of cash, bought themselves the first 8 train, which involves a shift to, and this is kind of weird, the shift in the color of track doesn't affect things. It's the shift in from 6 to 8 that puts you to the middle value here. So some of these have become more valuable at this point. Now, the trains start falling kind of hard, if I recall correctly, at this point. Now, especially when that next company comes in, and, you know, if we have a dissolution, more companies could be rebirthed or whatever. But what did I lay any track? Yeah, I laid track that didn't cost me anything. So much costs you money in this game that, geez, it's really hard. You know, it's not like in most games where you can just say, well, let's extend the track a little bit. It's like, I better have a damn good reason for doing so. And our other companies, I guess the only really exciting, I mean, we can, you know, again, free track lay, but what's it really doing for me? I don't know. But we got this, which brings them up to 13. The Lilly Bio only dropped down from 9 to 8, so that's not too bad, given that I lost a train. The increase in the values was big for them. But we got some real problems for some of these companies. We got 4 companies running a 6H without a clear path to the next train. Now, some of them, you know, I could sell 5 of these. That's $450. That gives me a good hunk towards the 10H, which is probably where most of these want to go. Again, the Archimedes has no problem. But this one, the yellow and the purple, are really kind of low-valued companies. If I were to drop 4 or 5 shares of them in, that's only a couple $100. And this one especially is sitting with not a lot of cash, in part because I sold this sucker, which now I can't use anywhere. I'm going to want to do that to activate that somewhere in my favor, but God knows where, you know. I mean, what port am I going to get to now? Palermo, not without a dot, and it's not that great a port. You know, it just improves it to like a blinker, like a decent little town, but nothing great. At this point in the game, it would be fine, but later it becomes very weak. So I'm kind of bummed about what I got there for many reasons. And I guess we push down into the next operating round. Starting off the second operating round here, paid out the money. Archimede, a little bit downgraded, only making 13 a share this time, running this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slightly better than if I ran over here. But slightly better is better than not slightly better. Anyway, you know, it's sort of amazing to me how easy they're falling into just a good situation. Tons of money here. I haven't actually put what they get in the company treasury too. This is where the decision comes. 5, 50, 65. Okay. And I have lots of cash. Enough cash that I'm going to spend $90 to buy the private company that allows me to build cheaper regular track. But I'm not really that interested in the track. I'm interested in getting cash out of my corporation and into my pocket for investment. But again, you know, it's just flowing really, really easily here for them. They're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically $600 in cash, and it's like, yeah, not. Some of that feels like it was just, hey, we fell into kind of not a bad position. Like other people had some bad choices. And bad decisions, right? You know, but other people were handed choices that were not great, and I just don't feel like that happened here. Now, can you avoid being thrown those bad choices? I'm sure you can. It's just a level of calculation that's much, much more than I think I would ever be able to make, to absolutely be certain. I don't know. You know, maybe eventually, like in 1830, certain feelings come about as to how to get myself the 2-5 trains that sometimes just fall into play. But, you know, no matter how much I try for it, it kind of feels like it falls on me too. You know, other people's bad decisions, whatever, are as much in play as my gut feelings and how I'm playing those. But, on the other hand, there's just nothing in any other XX game that I can think of that's on the scale of like, hey, you're just not going to run, you know, for several rounds. You're not going to make any money because of these choices that other people made. And, you know, it could just be the degree of how difficult it is to see the pitfalls. But again, you know, there are a few simple rules in most. Every now and then, one will sneak up and bite you, but I feel like this one's just like gnawing at my ankles all game, you know, every time I pull it out to play. And it's not like just the first time was problematic or whatever. It feels like every damn time now. I haven't played it that much, but I don't know how much I would want to play it. I don't like having my ankles gnawed that much. Anyway, we've talked about all that before. So yeah, I'm gonna throw me some money here. 75. 85.90. Am I making a huge mistake? I don't think so. Because again, I pulled in like 65 bucks. Now I'm at 2, 3, 4, 500. I got room for another share, at least 2 more shares at 137. Now, unless I buy another train, I'm not going forward. So I may be swallowing instead. Just because you don't get stock value, so it becomes less valuable to keep paying out. You may want to jiggle things around and maybe become an investor instead of throwing the cash right in. On the other hand, I'm looking at the money that's lying around, and there ain't a hell of a lot. Maybe it's worth buying an 8 train. In addition to that, I want that cash. But the 8 train means what? What would it mean? I got a little rundown here that's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But what could I do with the 8? Well, this isn't that interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What about from this way? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I could probably shift one off that, no? Let's see, what was I talking about? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I can shift one off, but that doesn't help. You know, I think I make more money by buying it. A fool and his money, right? But here's the thing. Now I'm going to be making enough to push me over. I can still swallow if I want to. But I don't see anybody else who's buying another train. There's one more company out there. That might be mine. I don't have priority anywhere near me. But again, I'm the one piling up all this cash. I just bought my private. All kind of cool stuff, right? Yeah, I think so. The screw up is I should have done it last turn. But yeah, I can live with that. A heavy turn to decide things on in a lot of ways. So Pink just made their run. They paid out. Want to make the money, right? Get some monies in here. But now I'm looking at, well, I have 160 bucks here. Now, first thing, I can buy the share out of here and make sure, I price protect or whatever the equivalent is in this game. I could buy that with the company if I so desired. No great harm there either. But instead, I could also release shares. Now, releasing shares is not that good a thing. I can just buy from here. I feel in a tricky position. If there were bonds, I don't want this, obviously. But I would love one of these. And I just don't feel like I have the capital on hand to do it. But on the other hand, I don't know. I don't see an easy way to raise that money quickly. So, yeah. I think I'll hold off and not do any fancy financial stuff. But that's the question at the end of each of your turns. Is this, well, what can I do about this? Yeah, so now this is actually a question too, but again, I can cover that with my own cash. And I would rather not buy that up with the company money, because then not only have I not released, but I've taken another step and pulled another one into the company treasury, and I don't have as many options as a player, so yeah, I'll hold off. I didn't screw up. This is my first chance to have gotten an 8 train. I thought I had made an 8 train run there, but he's down to 13. He lost a buck off his runs. For the Garibaldi, nice big run. I'm in there. I'm allowed to drop a token because there's still a space open for the company that has it reserved, and I made a 17 run, which is the best off of my 6H. Great city. I mean, best city in the game, great starting place. Too bad the companies that could reach it real easily, well, I wouldn't say the Garibaldi could get to it easily. Too bad the company that could reach it really easily wasn't there, but I think it made it more interesting. When that's available as an early option, that's a big bonus for people. Now, if it's the number one company, great. You can buy the presidency in the bidding. But it's hard to engineer who buys essentially this, because as long as I'm understanding the rules correctly about where priority falls on things, so if it's the number two company, there's sort of a randomness. You might be able to predict what somebody's going to buy, but it's hard to predict who. Oh no, not that. Who buys this thing, the cheap thing, because that determines where the priority is going to land on that first play. And I mean, yeah, it's other player decisions, there's no question, but because of the rigid nature, because of the incredible value of, one company over another or whatever, it just, I don't know if you can engineer your way through that beginning of the game. I almost feel like that's random. Now, not entirely, and obviously when I play it, it's more random than otherwise, but because I'm rolling dice for who bids on what. But there's a reason for that. Because when I sit at the table, it's not always clear who's going to scoop up that thing and cause, the bid upon privates to fall. So yeah. Anyway, some decent money. Do I want to release shares? No, obviously not. I'm nowhere near ready to buy my train. I'm probably not going to get a 10H, but make my money while I can, and yeah. I mean, if I release a bunch of shares right now at $100 each, I could guarantee it, right? And this is right there ready to be bought, but who is going to buy it? And that's the tricky thing. Does it look like somebody's going to start the final company, which is in a good location and has track laid for it already and everything? So if somebody is going to buy it, that's great. But how much money will it take to buy? Well, I would say you'd want $900 available to you, which is a lot of money, and nobody has that just sitting around. Could somebody dump their company to get that? Is that worth it? I don't know. It doesn't really feel like it, but I guess if your company is kind of on the hell ride. Speaking of on the hell ride and a company that maybe outlived its purpose, this is kind of iffy. What can I do with it? Well, for one thing, I can release shares at no cost. Does that mean something? Ooh, maybe. Maybe. I got another $40 I can drop here. Now I'm not going to be going first, and that's a problem. And I certainly releasing a lot of shares to create money doesn't necessarily do me something, but I could get another choo-choo out of that, or start busting my way in so that I can make a run, or both. What do I get with my 6H? If I bust into here, which I can do, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got one more that could either go to the port or there. I can't. The problem is I've got this port assigned to this, and I am never going to reach a port unless something collapses. Or I could reach a port very temporarily this turn, which might be my deal. That might be the best I can do. So, how much money can I make myself worth? Well, regardless of whether I throw the shares out or not, I can get it up to 86. I'm able to sell 2 of those at 86. One of the greens at 137. It's at 300 so far. Another 40 for that. Eh. 75, 79 more. Okay, that's 428. Now we look at multiples. Obviously, I could put $400 in, and that's not 900. Okay. Second, obviously, can I get better than? Can I get 428 in there? I doubt it, and that's not going to help me terribly. So 428 bucks is still not 900 bucks, and that's important because then the next move puts me up to 1150 if I'm putting that company out. Now I'm able to start it at 144 per. Let's see if that's 3 shares. No, not quite. I don't think that I can engineer a situation in which I'm going to make. Oh, wait a minute. What did I say? 428. I didn't count my run. Now my run with a 6H, if I blast my way through here and use that thing, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 30, 40, 50, 140, 170. 17 times 4. That's. I'm still not going to get to 900. But I might be able to do something interesting if I have 2 companies. 17 times 4 is 40, 68. That puts me to 496. Yeah, I'm not very bright. Okay, so 432 I could put into that company with what I decrease. That would get me a good company. With an 8 train, which isn't terrible, I'd be cutting this loose. I think that's better. I think the long-term prospects of this are so crappy that if I can't hold it at 20%, well, 86 and 86 means I get another share of whatever I start, which can only help it. If somebody takes my Lilly Bio away, if they leave me stuck with it, then I have 2 companies, and that's not bad either. That might be just what I need to get myself good trains on the company I want. Am I going to get it is the question. Because if I do this, I am slashing the shit out of the Lilly Bio. And then the question is, I'm the last person in order. Oh, is anybody else in an iffy enough situation and or have enough money? So he has a couple $100. A couple $100 isn't going to do it. Or he could throw away the Archimedes, which I could buy. So I think I'm gonna try to engineer seeing if I can get the Centrale. I don't know what I'm thinking about because I obviously cannot. I can't do it right now. Because I can't release the shares, I can't take out a bond, and I don't have enough money to connect this up. So I don't know what I was thinking. Why did I think that I could generate a whole bunch of money? What the hell was on my mind? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I maximized my capitalization by buying this into my hand. Just ran, increasing stock value. Last time I get to do that, where the stock value increases. I obviously don't have enough money for a train, so we go to the last company, which is the purple. And to some extent, I'm set up so that I think, I don't know, 161, not quite. I'm at 151. I was thinking I might be able to buy a share of each of these. I knew I couldn't buy two of the Lily Biome, but I didn't want to decrease its value. So I'm probably just stuck in the doldrums. Nothing exciting there for me to do. I'm in a kind of interesting position. So the Trinacria, able to build here now, able to run 2 trains if it comes to that. Maybe willing to buy that last 8 train. So my run is not bad. It's 15 a share. I don't know if I don't think I'm going to get 150. There's not going to be 10 of these in here. There's no bonds or anything like that. So I would have to swallow to have the money to buy it right off the bat. Other options are selling shares for ship money, which if I just pay out, maybe I can buy some, but that doesn't sound like it's going to be a real option. So that means if I swallow at 15, I get my 350 right off the bat. I walk into this round with only 30% of my company and enough money to buy another share, so 40% of my company, presumably, with some risk of losing it. Not a whole lot, but some. If I don't swallow, I make some more money, which isn't a whole lot. It's only 45 bucks. Will that get me another share? That's a good question. At 75 each, it will not. Will it? 45, 50, 60. Nope. Aww. I think the only way I can do anything of value is to buy that train. So I will swallow 150 bucks. 200 extra. I buy the last 8 train. Nobody saw that coming. And what's impressive is I'm able to make a run to Messina as well as down here, but the single 8 can probably do all of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which might mean nothing. Like, I don't know what I could do. Because I'm not hooked up to anything else, I have to use this track, so all kind of complexity comes into mind. But 2 trains gets me more money. This buys me some time. Unfortunately, it's not a permanent train, and I'm probably setting myself up for even worse problems in the future. I have enough money to buy myself 1 more share of my company, but not 2. And I just made my company look really, really tasty. Oops. I think we go with that, though, and see how it works. The thing there is 30% of a company that is not the best company out there, but unfortunately, I'm facing somebody with 40% and a lot of cash of a company that is as good. Sorry, in the Archimedes, in a lot of ways. So, you know, in terms of like having the same train setup and everything. And the 10 train is going to kill the 6, right? Yeah. So I am down to 1 train again. But we'll see. We shall see. We buzz through the players, and everybody's buying a share of their own company. just to get some more cash in there to win that race all the way across up to the Archimedes. And we come to him. He's got the Lily Biome. It's not what he wants, right? Well, I do a quick calculation of what I can get in cash on hand. It's 460. Obviously, 460 ain't going to do it, right? If I put 460 into this, I will owe 90 bucks more. And all I'll have is 110 train on that company. I don't think it's worth that kind of loss generation. So I'm going to find what I can invest in. And honestly, I fear that means buying up Lily Biome shares. I'm not sure he wanted to buy the share from the company pool, given that there's one in there and that's going to drop prices. 68 bucks isn't going to make a difference, so I'm going to switch that decision. I didn't see that I had one in there. He very clearly made the decision to buy from the company pool. He wanted that extra 111 bucks or 118 bucks in the company, but 61 doesn't sound as good. I had an interesting conundrum then. So I got 151 bucks. I could buy another Archimedes. It might not be wise. 2 shares of somebody's stocks can be dangerous, especially when there's something else out there that's worth having. Now, there's nothing wrong with the Archimedes right now. It wouldn't be terrible if I had it dumped on me at all, although its stock value would plummet. But it would make that up, presumably. The problem that I have is he could run the shit out of it, and I'm not going to have priority. And next turn, next stock round, bad things happen. So I'd really rather not just buy that. It's also not likely to make a lot of money. It's at the borderline. It's not going to make stock value. So that's a reason to avoid it. So my big choices then become $100 or $118 for either the Garibaldi or the Akragas. Okay, but that's all I get. Or 1 share of a Lily Bio and 1 share of the Trinacria. The Lily Bio, the problem with that, and I mean, I clearly would go with that, except I don't know if I want to, be buying another share at 86 of it. When it could be making more money by releasing them, up here. But I think in terms of getting my own cash and flexibility and everything, I do want to just buy a share of my own thing. Whatever was going on over there just got flummoxed after buying that share. Well, he ends up dumping one, which means, well, price isn't going to go anywhere, but okay, so it's not that big a deal. But yeah, he ends up dumping one and buying the share of his out of the pool, so he doesn't fall back or down a space, because he's looking at releasing a bunch of shares so that he can buy a permanent train very quickly. Things kind of caught him off guard with that purchase of the last 8 train over here. Those excellent cheap shares start getting eaten up. I don't know why he bought his own first. That really kind of screwed everything up, essentially, but whatever. Puts me over here. We got pass. 35, 44 bucks. That sounds like a pass to me. Looks like we pass all around. And this is the only thing. It blinks down. Nothing's sold out. I'm going to go back to 2 operating rounds with the first permanent train just sitting out there, and everybody in kind of a rush to get to it, but nobody with the cash for it right off the bat. And we're at 3 trains right now, but as soon as the 10 comes out, we're at 2. Now the 6s go away, so nobody's in a position where they'll get screwed in terms of like not having the money for the 10 train but not being able to buy it. I think this is a game that allows you to actually buy it if it would rust a train and replace it. Not that that's an issue because nobody's got 3 trains, so that's also safe. But yeah, I'm trying to look to see if I can make a prediction on who's going to get it, how they're going to get it, because if you can figure that out, that's everything, right? So can the first company here get it? It's going to get $130, 300, 400, not quite, right? But it can release shares, and it's the first company with the option to release shares, but if it releases too many shares, it might end up going behind someone next time, and maybe like 2 swallows wins them the train. So yeah, and also we'd be looking at a swallow, which drops us back to here, and a sale. Yeah. Or not a swallow, because I can probably get better than 13, right? Was that the truth? Yeah, obviously we can get better than 13 because we've got this. So we can run, we've got lots of capability to run here. So my guess is this guy's going to swallow and buy it. Just guessing. And obviously, if there's open money and everything, you could prefigure everybody's possibilities and all kind of shit like that and understand. How much does that help you at this point? I don't know if it does much at all. But yeah, if he can swallow and buy, it's worth doing. And then that puts everybody else in an uglier position because it's going to get rid of these 6s. These companies are going to have to come up with the cash immediately, not through sale of stock, not through sale of company stock. There's no bonds. There's no way to make this up, and I definitely like the bonds better. It's too harsh, man. Yeah, we're gonna see some definite crashing if that can happen, and then like this guy's okay. And this guy's okay, except I just spent a fortune on a non-permanent train that goes away. Not until phase 16 at least. I got some time to get one of them expensive 12 trains. 800. That's a lot of money. And by hooking this up, dropping a dot here so that I can run down to here, and then also my little loop down here. All my dots gone. None in Messina. Hey, I'm not risking anything. I can make 29. I swallow that. 290. That gets me enough money to buy the first 10 train. And that gets rid of the 6s, of course. And we got some problems for other people. We created some problems. The 10 train. 10 train, the 12 is where Messina gets blown up. Nobody's building it up, so that's kind of sweet. And we're down to 2 trains per company. Nothing else exciting. Yeah, we're up to the brown track, and we can start companies all the way up at 216 a share. But this money has to go away. The problems start coming, right? Well, Archragus is not in that bad a shape. I've got a running train, not something everybody has. Some people are going to be hurt. So we ran for our money. I'm hoping that's the right decision. That got my stock value up, and that's a big part of it because there's 40% of my company I can release, right? So that's a whole bunch of cash. And I think I have to release all of it, to tell you the truth. Anyway, I took cash into my, I'm split 60-40, and now I'm going to release my stocks so that maybe I have enough money for a permanent train. We'll see. Because what I'm looking at here, let's look at the companies. I doubt he's going to be able to buy a train right away. So no big deal there. He just bought one, no big deal there. But there's two companies without trains, which means the 10H and the 12H are both going to fall. That means it's an $1,100 train for me. Or I can crash and take the shitty little train. Now, the shitty little train, maybe I can get multiple of them, but I think I want a big train. I've got a lot of track already set up. We might be able to make it to Palermo, basically running this way. So I don't know. 16's a lot. No E-trains, man. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it there. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I'd really like that 12 train. Or the 10. The money is just not there. I mean, I could have, what was it? 6 times 17. I could have another $100 here, which would put me at 450 something. Just a little short. And I'm not going to get a shot at that 12 train, which means it's 1,100. 400, 524, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna be like $200 short. Is that $200 I can survive? I don't know. These are gonna be at 86 when I start selling them off. Maybe I'm best off waiting. First 16 train. Yeah, I won't be able to buy the 16, right? Because let's see, what is definitely falling? No, the 10 and the 12 are what are falling. The 16 is not falling. So I can hold off until I can buy the 16, I think. What kills the 8? The 16. Okay. Yeah. And if the 16 is bought, there's a cheap alternative out there that I have enough money for just sitting already. And I might be able to run 2 trains. And that might not be as bad a choice as buying the 16 would be. Yeah. So I guess we do not release any shares. In fact, but I forgot to play out my privates, so I threw that cash out there at this point as I am looking at the Garibaldi. And what's happening to it is going back in value, that's for sure. I've been playing too many XX games recently because I had to look up the financial activities thing if you release shares to make sure that you get full value for them. One that I played recently allowed you to release shares in a similar fashion, but you moved it down each time and it decreased the price. And it was the only time when selling multiple shares worked that way, I think. I don't remember which one it was, but yeah, it may have been 18CZ. That was the last one I think I played, so it would make sense if that's what I'm stuck on in my head. But it is getting painful remembering the differences. So yeah. That is not the case here, but I'm hosed. So I have to do emergency fundraising because I don't have enough cash. I can't release, I can't drop a bond or anything. So all of this goes into my treasury for now. So I will have no money left. And I do a quick calculation of what I have here. Hold on. $263 out of the $550 that I need. Means I got to come up with 287. 2 Garibaldis is 180. This is 61. That's all I can sell. I'm screwed. Okay. Let's say I'm not able to afford enough money. If I'm unable to raise the money, I sell all the stock I'm able to, then place all the money in the corporate treasury. The corporation is then closed. At this point, if the president has no stock left, they can leave the game or take a loan. If they still have stock, well, they won't because the company's closed. Yeah. So, we got screwed. So yeah, we'll be selling 2 Garibaldis. I don't think this matters. That's 180 bucks. I will be selling this for 61. And now I have 400. Oh, I'm almost there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 504 bucks. Not that I'd be in anywhere near a good situation. It's closed immediately, removing it from the game with all tokens, port tokens included, train stock, and private companies. The shareholders get no compensation, and the treasury is returned to the bank. And now, it seemed like such a great thing. Now the Lily Bio looks a lot better. Oh, God. The chaos. The chaos. I mean, it's pleasurable in its own way. But yeah, it feels not like an 18XX to me. It really does not. So these tokens all go away. The excess shares go back in here. We exchange the positioning. The Central is the next company. This, I think, just disappears. So the limitation on him is if the president has no stock left, they can either leave the game. I think I could take out a loan for 500. I don't see a point to that. If they still have stock, now this is not stock, so yeah, they'll have a buck and their remaining stock. I'm just going to drop him out of the game, and I guess that moves the priority over here because there's no reason. I don't think this is going to affect certificate limits. I think we're going to stay at the 9 certificate limit, which we might be getting close to with some of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Okay. But yeah, now there's 2 companies available. The Lily Bio just shot into bonus track that it did not have. Of course, he might be out of the game too. He looks pretty hosed. Importantly, this train did not get bought. There wasn't enough money for it, so it didn't get expended. So my counting on a 10 and a 12 going isn't the case. Now the 12's open. Neat. And again, that I probably could have predicted if I thought a little more carefully. And maybe it's the 10 that's open. If he can't come up with 550. I'm 332 in the hole. Hey, I got my dot though, and upgraded this. And who knows if I want to do these things, but I'm just doing them because whatever. Okay, so let's see. 123, 50 now. And 3 times 77. So I have, looks like 72 bucks left, which means I don't have to sell this. So let's make sure we got it right. 77 times 3 is 231. Get that in play. Hold on. A couple of bucks sitting over here. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 550. I get a 10 train. I got a working company. I have 2 shares of it. Again, you know, some horrible chaotic situation opened up, and am I out of the game? I mean, obviously, I'm not technically out of the game, but I am now in last place out of the people still in the game with 26 bucks and 3 shares. But yeah, you know, I better allocate this before it dies. There we go. Because that's going to go pretty soon. Okay. But we've survived. And now that means all the companies are in existence. A lot of wealth's been wiped out. This could be a lot longer. And we've got this guy. And with an upgrade over here, this thing's able to run at 21 a share, which is pretty good right now. We have gotten the 8s out of the way. The 12 is sitting there waiting for someone like him to buy it. Releasing shares, you know, it's not worth much money. It's a lot better for me to run that train right now a little longer. Maybe if it gets up, it'll be worth it, but yeah. On the downside, these 2 guys are sitting with non-permanent trains, so they still have a burden in front of them. But they survived. That's worth something. I mean, that's better than you can say about him. I mean, you can say, well, he's still in the game. But, yeah, not really. But the race for that 12 train is a big deal because that 12 train doesn't kill anything, right? Right. The 12 doesn't kill anything, but the 16 will. And I got to be real careful if I'm one of the 8s because there are new companies out there to start. If somebody's creating a lot of cash, now who's got a lot of money? Well, we thought this guy was out of the game like from turn 1, and it turns out he isn't. You know, that's kind of neat. You know, the fact that he hit a landmine, but it wasn't that bad a landmine, and he's probably in 3rd place. But that's not too bad given the start. Is there any chance of these guys crushing themselves? Only through extreme stupidity. They basically have to start a company and ruin themselves. This guy a little less so. He could get screwed with he could get screwed with not making a lot of money as he saves up for that first 16, or he could get shoved into those little cheap trains. But I don't think he has any real painful, like, I don't think he has a crash like these 2 did. So, at least there's that. Now, the big question, though, is do we go up to 11 certificates because there's less players? The rules don't say anything about that, so I'm saying no. But that could create a situation where the game drags too long, so maybe they should say it. Waiting on the first 12 train to get bought, and we pay out the privates. This may be the last time that they get paid out. With this never having been used, right? Well, no, this doesn't get used. Right, the one that allows you to reposition yourself when down with a company. This has not been used for anything yet. The port set up, and at least I'm going to be able to get in there now that another company's died. But yeah, so far it hasn't been generating money. It probably will, because a 30-buck location is worth as much as what's over here. And there's nothing on this end. So let's see, we're looking at a 10H. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Sort of. Is that ideal? I don't know, you know. There's not a lot else I can do easily, because of these couple of cities become more valuable than anything else that's over on this side other than Palermo itself. But anyway, with pink, I ran and paid out, but I got to make a decision about releasing shares because no matter how much money I have, I don't have room for additional shares, which means I won't be able to be floating more cash into play. Now, here's the problem. Am I going to be the first company that goes? Right now, I'm the highest valued company, but I don't know if I'm going to be first. If somebody has a shitload of cash, and I'm not sure anybody seems to, but if somebody has a shitload of, I mean, maybe I do. If somebody has a shitload of cash, they can jump in and get that 12H before me. Not one of the existing companies, but a new company that starts at either 144 or 216, both of which are available now. It doesn't look like there's that kind of money lying around. So I'm going to count on being able to buy that 12H. And that is the cheapest permanent train I have. I have 425 bucks. Let's see how many shares I have to dump to make that happen. I got to be careful though, because not only will I go down, but I'm also going to go back. No, I'm not going to go back. Yeah, I'm going to go down again, but there's no more down. I'm at the basement after dropping down to 127. Put enough bank in there, I probably have enough cash to buy the 16H if I need to. Is this better or worse than swallowing? Well, swallowing wouldn't have gotten me there on one swallow. So then the question becomes, well, how many shares do I want to dump out there? I'll dump the full 40% out. That means people have to buy the 10% shares before they get to the 20%, whatever. Doesn't matter much. The decision has to be made here for the Archimedes. Upgrading Messena. Yeah, it's going to get destroyed very quickly, but it makes me a bunch of extra money right now to hook that up. Gets me up to a 41 run. Now that's going to go away as soon as the 12H is bought. I get one chance at it. So the question is, do I swallow with not enough money to make it, or do I work at selling shares, try to get 2 big trains running on this, which I think I can do. Another option is just run, be happy, and settle for, I've got a permanent train already, settle for the R6H as well. What would I be able to do with that? That's the big problem. It could run to here, right? 1, 2, 3, but then it's like 4, 5, you know, that's it. Or 4, 5, 6. The other option, what about down here? What could I do? Well, I'm not going to be able to hit this good stuff easily. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. There's not much I can do about that. 5, 6 is all I can do. So I would much rather get one of the big trains. I don't think I can possibly get the 12H, because even if I pay out and then go down, I'm going to be behind the pink, and they've clearly got the money for it. One of them really painful decisions, right? So I can come up with a run and without a swallow, 684 bucks. If I release all my shares at 130, drop the share value way down, whatever, that doesn't even get me the 12H. If I swallow, I get 410 plus 106 times 4, 424. That gets me 834, 880, still doesn't get me the 16. So I'm going to pay out because whatever. And I don't know where I'm going to go. So here's the thing, the swallow would get me into a position where I would be maybe able to buy this soon. Oh boy. It's just ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Swallowing seems almost worthwhile. I hate the fact, so I'm only going to get 41 times 5 is 205 bucks off my run. That's not going to put me in a position where I can start another company right away, which would be the really appealing thing. So I think I do want to make the Archimedes as powerful as possible. I think what I'm going to do is I am indeed going to take all that money. I'm going to leave these shares in here, force people to either buy them out and not drop my stock value, or on the other side, they could just sit there and start generating capital for me, because I think I'll be able to get to the 16H. That R6 just doesn't look useful to me. It just doesn't look like it's going to generate enough extra revenue compared to the 16H. Holy bail. There's not a whole hell of a lot I can do here. I've got my run. We talked about that already. There's one location that I can upgrade for free, which is this one. Because this one can't possibly. However, this becomes a game of find the right piece. This piece crosses, there's a water barrier there, so that doesn't work. This piece doesn't work. Now, the first question is the piece on the board? I guess, because there's going to only be one, I would think. And it's not this. It's going to be a bird claw. And I'm looking through the tiles, and I'm not sure this piece, or I don't think this piece exists. This one can't be it. It's a sharp corner. It's got to be a wide bird claw. It's not a straight. Here's a wide bird claw, but it goes the wrong way. I think there's a piece that just doesn't exist. Here's another wide bird claw, but again, it goes the wrong way. What I need is, let me see, maybe it's not a bird claw I need. I'm not sure. Let's see. I need to go this way and that way. And this is a wide curve. Yeah. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for a piece that, no, that's not it. So this is the bird claw. Let me see. This isn't it. It's not going to be a bird claw. It can't be. So what could it be? Could it be a special K? Maybe it's a special K I'm looking for. And this is where this game gets, obviously it's not that one. It might be this one. Looks likely. Yeah, it's that piece. Okay, so there's probably no other 700 in the deck. And I don't want to pay 40 bucks to upgrade that. And another 40 later. Actually, it would only be 10 to upgrade this, which might be worth it. It'll be 40 later, but 10, I got that. I don't know though, because I also would love to get another choo-choo. Probably just the R6. Can I use an R6? Yeah, I sure could. I could use one through here, for example, and, you know, run another train hitting Palermo. Okay, I definitely want another train. I kind of don't care where it is. Like, I could build narrow track across here or whatever. I don't care. But I definitely want another train. This is going to be a while away. I'm going to have to release more shares to do it. So I actually not only built that, but I bought a share with the finances that I got off of running my train. I'm up to 26 a run, so that's pretty good. I mean, this guy is out of the game, but is he the only person out of the game? This guy had that long delay at the beginning, doesn't have has one extra share of a less valuable company. Of course, he's also got a little bit more cash, I think, on hand. But nobody's doing that well. Everybody's kind of crippled. I don't know what happened to this one over here. He's been running the charmed life all game. I think I'm beginning to see why people don't want the optional rolls. And it's that very case. Basically, everybody took a hit in this game. It's not like it's a matter of, oh, wow, I screwed up early, I'm screwed. It's I screwed up early. Oh look, other people screwed up later. Now why this guy's doing okay is beyond me. I don't know. I mean, he took a swallow, but yeah, it really does seem to be the game deals you some pain. Now, this guy's got to be in great shape. He's got to be, but he's only sitting on 50% of his company, which this guy's got 60%. Yeah, he's got an extra share of crap, but stock value of the Pink is higher, all told, at this point. Pink has already sold its shares. Green has not. It's hard to tell. I mean, this has its permanent train, but this has the cash sitting on it for the permanent train with no problem. So that's not the issue. This guy is totally destroyed. This guy is gone. And this guy is clearly well behind Pink and Green. So I don't know where that's going to fall out, but it kind of feels like Green took a hit from maybe just being a shitty company. I don't know. But a company that's better set up than Pink is now. So there might be a race there. Of course. I don't know how he's not that healthy. Just calculating my run. It's 24. I might be able to get something through an upgrade, but I highly doubt it. I haven't laid any track yet, but yeah, I got an upgrade. I got this. To add 3 to that. There we go. More to be destroyed. So we go up to 27 a share. Okay, great. But that means I can pocket $270, fall back a space. It's not like my shares are worth much. That gets me to around 400, which is enough to survive getting an R6H. Which keeps me in the game. I don't know if I don't know if it puts me behind him though. That's the problem. It keeps me in the game because maybe not. If nobody buys another company, there may be a problem. Because this train goes away, the 12H gets bought, and that's not enough. If I run at 27, because I'm not seeing anybody with enough money to start another company, except maybe me, and maybe I need to. Okay, I don't think this is going to work, but 27 times 4 gets me $108. That's not much. I got a couple $100. I cannot start a company at this point in the game with a couple $100. It's just not gonna, it's gonna crash. So I guess the best I can do is swallow, but I think I'm doomed. I think I'm going under as well. Because there's such tight-packed, hard decision-making in this game, it feels like everything has to be dealt with, right? Pink, hey, we're on the road to happiness as far as we're concerned. So we buy ourselves a green. It looks the most likely to work out okay. I'm not really sure. The Lily Bio is probably fine too. Both of them appear to have, they both have a permanent train. They don't look like they're going to do anything weird. They might end up swallowing to try to get a better train situation, but that's okay. I might as well buy it now and have the ride, especially since I took it from the bank pool and not from the company, so I'm not going to lose the money. Now, here's the question. If I buy the Lily Bio, do I want to buy it from the bank pool, or do I want to speed their progress? And I don't know the difference. In either case, the value is going to, well, it's not going to fall right now, so I guess it's at the bottom, but the green one would have. For purple, they bought a share of their own company, exposing the 20% share. Is that worth it, though? 2 shares of something that's just going to crash, I don't really see that as terribly valuable. On the other hand, we got this guy over here who's sitting on 50%. He could buy one more share and that's it. And I don't know if I necessarily want to buy my own share because I may need to pocket more money. I hope we did this right. I'm not sure. So let's see. 3 operating rounds started on the 10 train. The 10 train just came out. Okay, we're good. We're good. Sometimes I have to double check these things, make sure I didn't fuck up. And that's how I find out I fucked up, is I get that suspicion. Well, I'm pretty sure I don't want to own 30% of that. Pretty sure. Especially sitting right after him. So yeah, what do? I've got $65 and nowhere to spend it anyway. I guess I could sell a share of this and buy something more valuable. So this is worth 50. That would get me to 115. I could buy a Lily Bio, which at least isn't going to crash. The interesting question over here. Do I want that 20% share now that it's only $80? So if I buy that, I very well will own it. Very, very possible. I will not be able to have 2 permanent trains on my companies because, again, the 16 isn't coming out, so the R6s aren't going to be available. So, yeah, I don't want to own that, and I probably don't want to own this one, to tell you the truth, either. It looks pretty much like it's going to just crash into nothingness. So yeah, don't know what I'm going to do with my cash. I could protect my own price. My company's not bad. That might be my best move. And I think that's about it. We picked up another Lily Bio here. Again, it doesn't help that I'm pulling it out of the bank pool. It might actually not be good for me, but I don't know. Is anything sold out? Archegos is not. It's sitting there, and that means the purple and the pink are going down, but neither one can. And we're in this horrible situation where it feels like a lot of people are going to get hammered really hard. And, you know, not really. One person's going to get destroyed. Another player's going to get knocked out. And that's about it. And that's why everybody ran away from their stock. You know, it's going to fall back one. It's getting awfully close to closed, even if he survives. Which is one of the things. Maybe he could have closed out his company, but there'd be no way to get the cash out of it. You know, he doesn't have a private or anything like that to burn into his pocket. And losing a company that way that you started with real cash and kept and ran throughout, I mean, that probably is not a good move, unless it's doing one hell of a job as a feeder company, and nobody had the opportunity in this game to have a second company. Unlike with, again, the loans, they provide that little release valve that makes it closer to a more standard XX game. This one, I just feel like everybody's on a death ride. So Archegos had enough cash to build this track and upgrade. 10 extra bucks. Now, I could have grabbed one of those. I don't know what's going to be rare, what's going to be... This probably was the rare thing, so I probably should have done that, but screw it. Because somebody else might upgrade that, whereas I had the cash to do an upgrade, so no biggie. Buy the 12 train, that wipes out the 8s. Everybody's down to 1 train except for him. And I got enough money left to buy myself a share of my stock back. Which, you know, I hope I just put the 100 in. So now the world gets shaken up yet again. And that does a few things. It kills all the privates, I think, right? Yep. And the Messina earthquake happens. So let's look up the Messina earthquake. I'm pretty sure I know what happens, but it's downgraded to yellow. Boom! There goes the extra money that everybody's making. All tokens in it would be destroyed if they were there. Yeah, that could close a company. Right? And Messina cannot be upgraded again until after the next stock round. I'll put this down here to remind me, I guess. I hope I remember. But yeah, that hurts the income along this line. And I guess that's it. And the income of the companies that are kind of racing for that 16 train. Well, this guy dropped down a little bit. He was up in the 40s before. Now with only one train, he's 26. But the Lilly Bio managed to make some upgrades, paid for this. It's got its token. These things went up in value for the 12 train. Yeah, I just had to make sure. This is so hard to read for me. It's like the only thing in the game that well, the tokens, when they're covering, when they're with the numbers, they confuse me. But if the tokens aren't there, the numbers confuse me anyway. So, and certainly I forget to put the tokens. So, overall, they're a good idea. But that got up to 30 a share, and I cheated. I gave myself an extra buck or a share, I believe. I thought it was 31, but only there, I think. I don't know why. But now we've got the disaster in the making. And let's see what's going to happen. Because he only has $500. He can't sell this out. He was hoping somebody would buy it, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's not a lot of money, so who cares? But it looks to me like he's probably going under, which is why nobody has shares of that. Total value drops down to 27 a share for not running. And I only have $626. Can't sell all my shares. That wipes it out, and it's gone. And so we shift down again. And I mean, I wouldn't have to use the 4. We'll just put this here. Yeah. So another player gone. And I'm still keeping that same certificate limit. Even though now we're at, because I'm still at the same company limit. Nothing instructs me to change anything, but theoretically, if this was a 3-player game, it would be 12 certificates. So, that's kind of, less companies, less certificates. Makes sense. All right. We're in an interesting position. We just ran the second operating round. Everybody paid out. Nothing exciting there, except he's at just about enough, just short of selling all his shares out of the company. And being able to buy the train, which means he might have wanted to sell them. No, because then if he sells them, he doesn't get the run. So, yeah, he won't be able to get the 16H train until next turn if he sells his shares now. Lilly Bio, nowhere near. Lilly Bio. Nowhere near that much value yet. But not at all outside the reach of getting this, and in fact the pink is capable of getting that, but people are also pulling in enough money. There's 3 companies out there for them to grab, so yeah. Which is the best is probably the purple, which gets that space back, although it doesn't have any breakout. It didn't before either. The Palermo is a nice location. It's not going to have as good a run as the Lilly Bio has. Well, it almost does, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right now. If this gets blasted, can do better. And with a 16, what are we looking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, not quite. There is a shortcut, but it's not available. This wasn't, wait, no, there isn't. This wasn't built correctly to get the shortcut. So no matter what, I gotta whip through another space. And this narrow gauge can't be broken. That's gonna be a pain. What about this option? That's 13 to there, so that's within reach. And maybe even cutting through here, 1, 2, I don't know. Anyway, there's room for that big train, for a big train to run out there. There's also conceivably room for a smaller train. If I build narrow gauge here, what am I looking at? I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's kind of shitty. But whatever. Now it's one of the consequential decision point type points in the game. Decision points. After that thing ran, oozed its way up to 30 a share. It really doesn't have cash, and at 30 a share, it's going to take me, there's no way I'm going to get the 16H. With a swallow, I can get the R6 if that seems reasonable. But the trickle that I'm getting in, of course, the value of that, as long as I'm pulling in 30 a share and selling this, is somewhat valuable. But we'll see what happens there. Because, of course, investing in the existing companies may be more worthwhile than starting a new one. That's one of the things people have to think about. But starting a new company with lots and lots of cash might allow them to buy another train that they couldn't get otherwise. So there's all kinds of trickiness going to happen here. But getting enough money on this thing to buy another train outright, well, if I swallowed, so first of all, is it a good idea? Is it not? And if I look here, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 shares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shares. I'm behind. More cash on hand there too. So that leaves me with, and nobody's got the 16 yet. Interesting. That leaves me with the call as to what do I want to do? Because if I swallow, I get $260, and selling one share back, I think, gets me to 1,062 total. So that doesn't seem like a good idea, especially since I can pocket a lot of money and I think release all the shares. So I think I'll go in that direction. Hard. This is hard. If I dump all my shares, I got plenty of cash after running. Those shares are worth $580, but it drops my stock value down to 95. I still think I need to do it. I think I need to do it in order to catch him. He's got a better train. He's got better everything. Better stock value, better holdings, better cash on hand. Just everything's in his advantage. So I want to pull that extra train out, because the one thing he doesn't have is a lot of cash on here. He might get the R6H, but, well, he almost certainly will. But I don't see much else coming from that. So I think buying the 16H makes sense, in part because I only have $475 here. $475 is not enough to start a company at this point. But once this is gone, it kind of is. I only need $350 plus the cost of the tokens. Remember, I got to buy those tokens each time. But yeah, I think I'm a lot closer to doing that. And my company will be making a different kind of race. So basically, the pink guy is running for the end of the game. And he can't even enter it until the 16 gets played. So he just slowly trickled the bank out, I guess, if nobody wanted to buy it. Somebody's going to buy it one way or another. There'll be enough cash to start one of these companies. Oh, I'm stuck with this company. Fuck. I keep thinking priority is a good thing. It's not necessarily. I'm stuck with this company if I wanted to buy a company. I don't have the cash, though. So yeah, I think I'm going to dump my shares for all that cash and get myself, well, I got a problem here, and get myself a whole bunch of money, 580 more bucks, which is enough to buy the 16H and throw the game into the end stage. I cheated there. Oh, I released all those shares, but I can't buy the train yet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oops. Yeah, I start thinking about, well, do I want the 6H? What do I want here? No, don't have the capability to buy it yet. That's next round. For the Lily buy 'em paid out, I'm sitting on $458. I have 5 shares. So that's 635, not times. And what did I say here? 458, which puts me $7 short. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, maybe if I swallowed or something I could have done different, but that would change my stock value, and 5 shares probably wouldn't help me. It's not what I want to do. I'm in last place out of the survivors anyway. I mean, I've got third place locked up here, basically. I don't see any way that's not going to happen. Any way things are going to happen differently. I may not hold my company, except I have enough money for 1 more share, but not enough for 50%. So yeah, somebody could steal my company, which would kind of blow chunks, and would actually get the cash in there just as quickly. And I kind of understand why the release of the shares has that time delay. It's basically like the same as a stock round, but a little bit more flexible. It's like you can slip a stock round in where other investors are able to buy up the shares. But so yeah, I guess there's not much we can do. We can't even buy the R6H, which might have been the solution here. In terms of cash on hand, walking into the stock round, this guy has 680 bucks. That's not enough to buy an $1,100 train. So we're not going to see a new company start. We might have seen it if the 16H had been bought, right? Because then he could start a company with the R6H and jiggle things around and maybe do something else. But as it stands, yeah, everybody's an investor this turn. And that makes the Lily Bio an interesting target, doesn't it? An interesting target that's sitting, let's see, I buy 1, he buys 1. If he buys 1, it gives the 20% share over to him. It creates some interesting choices. Lily Bio, and he probably shouldn't have, because immediately there's the, hey, that's going to have 2 trains. Screw it, man. That's the best thing that I can do with limited cash at this point. Now, our certificate limit's only 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 3 more spaces. Enough room for 2 companies. And that puts it over to him. If I buy 30% over here, if this guy doesn't buy one, it goes to 30% here, then the 20% share might fall here. So I think I'm going to buy one of these. I'm full up on my own. I can't touch those. Really kind of forces his hand because he no longer has a 10% share he can buy. He doesn't have room for the 20% share because you cannot go over the 60% of the companies. I think that's a flaw. I really do. Like, again, I said this way back the first time I misplayed this. 1835, which has those final shares, allows you to buy them for to hold 100% of your company. I'm not saying you should be able to hold 100% of your company, but I think you should be limited to 5 certificates in a particular company instead of 60%. But this does generate some interesting little games, which maybe is enthralling to people. So, I guess I'll just keep buying those Lilly Biomes. They don't really hurt me that much, and we'll see what happens. We have to get to 40% to take the company from him. Now, he may not be all that excited about holding the 20% president's certificate, but people kind of like to hold their own company, and people also kind of like and there's also an advantage to not having the guy who goes always just before you and will have priority on you holding one of your companies, which you may soon get back in much, much worse shape and be out of the game, funding trains for his newer companies. Now, that's kind of problematic here. He's not going to have the train space because he has all this cash here. And it's up to him to decide whether or not to let the Archimedes owner take control of the Lilly Bio because of that. I don't think I want to do that, but on the other hand, I could grab 40% of his really good company. On the other hand, maybe, I don't know. Him having 2 companies makes things less appealing about all that. Right now I'm at 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will be my last certificate. And I think I want to prevent the Lilly Bio from changing hands. Again, things are interesting. Not enough cash here to make any change. Not enough cash to buy a 16H, of course. Worse than I thought, though. I thought I was like $7 short. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I wonder, was I talking about a swallow? I didn't think so. But maybe. I thought I was $7 short without a swallow, but I'm not seeing it. Okay. Maybe that's after next run or something. I don't know. Which wouldn't happen because all the shares are being bought out. This guy could just stand pat, sitting on priority, option to buy the next company will probably have the cash for it. Or, or he could sell a share of his company and buy the 20% share of that. His company is going down in value no matter what. Nobody is, because this guy actually bought a share from the company itself to prevent anybody from getting the 20% share, and more importantly, because nobody could, to prevent them from, I don't know, not really anything. To make it a little bit more complicated, because he's going to have to shift this, he's not going to get the income in and all kind of stuff. So he's just trying to fiddle with that guy's life by buying up the share that's in there at a lower value. Next turn, it might be up at 198 or whatever. So yeah, all kinds of annoyances in doing that, in buying a share from the company. So yeah, this is a hard choice. Do I want to just sell my share, which is going to go down in value anyway, and buy myself the double share of the Archimedes? I don't think any damage can be done to the Archimedes. It doesn't have any dots to waste. he would really have to slit his throat with all the shares he has, and yeah. So I think it's worth selling my own certificate. It's not like I'm going to lose my company and grab that double share. This is a good time to load things up. End of the stock round. Priorities over there. Just 3 companies running still. Anything sold out? Yes. Yellow is sold out and green is sold out. That makes the race different now, doesn't it? It's a lot closer because of him being ditched and, you know, just the share sale. But it would have gone down anyway. And everything else going up because of the sellout and that potential for a much bigger run coming out of here. Plus, Messina's opening up. Messina's out of his reach, obviously out of his reach. But yeah, now we're not going to see, you know, the best we're going to see is moving to here. So we're not going to see anybody get up there and end the game. And we're not going to see the bank break, which means we're going to see new companies come out. Probably 2 of them, because I don't think he's going to have enough money unless somebody steals his company and then he just has a different one. Yeah, I don't think there's room for anybody to hold more than 2 companies. Let me 3, 7, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. This goes back. It's available to be rebuilt, and up we go.